how'd you get here?
This game is kind of like a Toxic X if you really think about it. And I'm not just doing that to like do this, I don't know, some dumb fucking intro or whatever. Like that's not the point. The point is like, if you really think about it, there's a lot of qualities that kind of reflect that, because you can't escape it. But even when you're done, even when you finish and you're like, I gotta get out of here, I've played all the stages, I've spent so much time here, you just can't get away. There's something that keeps dragging you back in. And like, I'm tired, my throat hurts, I was like, I'm not gonna record tonight, I need to take an itty bitty break. And then I saw this game sitting on my desktop, and it was like seeing her Instagram posts all over again, you know what I'm saying? And I just locked back in, and I was like, maybe the ass do be fat. Maybe, maybe I won't find another girl like her. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that I can't describe. That evil satanic pull pulling me back in. But in this case, it's actually worth it because this game fucks so hard. I don't know. I feel like this is something I've talked about with a friend of mine. There is a very interesting kind of way that this game employs the use of friends. Sonic's little fuck-ass friends that people were hating around this time because of this game. And a little bit of Heroes as well. And honestly, this game, if it wasn't dog shit, really would have done the friend mechanic system pretty well. Because you get this kind of nice mix of Sonic gameplay, very, very quintessential Sonic and adventure gameplay, and then you get this really brief kind of, I don't know, still Sonic gameplay, but very different. And the reason I'm saying this now is because we're gonna get that Knuckles section later, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know, I can see where they're coming from with that. Whether or not the kind of brief interludes between gameplay are good or not is completely up for debate. But at the end of the day, I do think that it's a good way of actually handling the alternate gameplay styles and slowing down the gameplay just a little bit to provide the users a bit of a different experience so they don't get bored and tired of the Sonic gameplay. It's a good way of doing it overall, and I really respect that. This is something that I've really been thinking about ever since playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Shout out, fire-ass game! But that game really handles it super well, and I think Final Fantasy games in general really handle pacing pretty well, where you get the actual game, you get this combat system that fucks, and it's like a really good system. Get me out of here, please, for the love of God, bro. Okay, whew. You get this really fun combat system, you get this, I don't know, this base gameplay. This is gonna be the gameplay you play for the rest of the RPG experience. This is the battle system, this is the world exploration, but you're gonna get tired continuing to play an RPG with just that much content, with such dense features for so long. So what is the outcome? Like, what's the best way to kind of make players not get tired as shit? Add a little bit of spice in there. Add mini games. There are mini games like every hour and a half to 2 hours in Final Fantasy, and there are side quests that utilize mini games. And if you want a little break from the normal fucking whatever, you can just go and play some minigames. And that kind of idea, you know, as roundabout of a way as I took to kind of get to this, it does work with Sonic's style as well, is what I'm trying to say. I think the general concept can apply very well, where you take this main gameplay style and you don't want people to get tired of it, so what do? You give them a different gameplay style and you intersperse it without actually completely overwhelming the previous gameplay style. When you're done with wanting to do the minigames in Sonic, or in fucking Final Fantasy, please save me, okay. When you're done wanting to do the games, the little minigames in Final Fantasy, what do? Here's what you do. You play the fucking game. When you're done playing a little bit of Sonic and you want to break, oh, play a little bit of Knuckles, and there you go. What do? When you're done playing Knuckles, you get back to Sonic and you actually play the fucking game. It's a really interesting and cool way of going about it. I'm dead. No, I'm not. I'm fucking insane. I'm actually the best at this game ever. But yeah, like, it's still Sonic. It's still very much Sonic. And it doesn't lose the essence of what the game is. Which, platformers are kind of like, it's a harder thing to work around. in comparison to a JRPG, because you gotta still be a platformer, right? JRPGs, like, you can fucking have a bunch of JRPG-like gameplay and then have a fucking Mario Kart minigame midway through, and people are gonna be like, that's JRPGs for you. Like, this is something that's been a part of the... Brother? Is it done? Did I fuck this up? Am I going in the wrong order? Hello? Help me, please? They're not gonna go off, right? I think I'm good. I think I'm not cooked here. But anyways, as I was saying, like, platformers have it a little harder, because you can't just say, yeah, fuck it, we're gonna do a fuck ton of bullshit. We're gonna do this in the middle of the game, and it's gonna work perfectly and whatever. Like, it doesn't work like that. That's the reason people absolutely hated the pinball shit in Frontiers. Also, it was just kind of poorly designed, but, you know, beyond that, that's kind of why they hated that shit. It is just generally more difficult to deviate from a normal platforming style and give users kind of what they need to feel not overwhelmed while still providing them gameplay that fucks in the way they want it to fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's just hard. It's just hard. They do turn off. Okay, so I have to do this within a specific amount of time. Not too bad, though. There's, what, 5 it was? 4 or 5? That's not... I'm still not in love with this mechanic. I never, like, super was. I think, you know, there's a reason that people don't really fuck too heavy with the playable characters, the alternate playable characters in this game. It's just kind of, it's difficult to get around. Did I do it? Alright, I'm good. There we go. It's just, it switches up the style a little bit, and I think, you know, what am I trying to say, bro? They were in the right spot. Their mind was in the right place. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the execution was great. I will say, that was really short, and a lot of the confusion came from me just being dumb as shit, dumb as a box of rocks. So, like, I'm not even complaining that heavy. I'm not a huge fan of the Knuckles gameplay, period, in Adventure 1 or Adventure 2, but that did call back to it in a way that felt less intrusive and provided you with, kind of, I don't know, an easier outlet to get through shit, and a little Sonic break without feeling like something that was just completely different. What was I saying about Toxic X's? I don't know. This video started off on a note that I don't know anymore. I'm lost in the sauce of this game now and talking about the intricacies of what it does and what it can do, and I don't know. It's a magical thing. I don't know what it is about Sonic games. I don't do this with other games very often. But when I sit down and play one, like, I've played so many fucking Sonic games, I'm like, I know what I like. I know what I don't like. So I just gotta lock in, bro. I lock in, and I analyze. I analyze a lot. But the level design is still, that was really fun. And ignoring the whatever Knuckles section, it was still a really good time. Radical Train. I've never beaten this one. I'm gonna be honest. I thought I played through all these Sonic stages at some point, but I was fucking bullshitting. I've never done that. I've never played this, and I'm really excited because I have a friend who swears by this. And by a friend, I mean an actual friend, and also the entire goddamn Sonic community. This is like one of the stages to end all stages in the adventure formula. This shit got ported to SA2, I'm pretty sure, right? Either SA1 or SA2, back before this shit existed, when people wanted to play these levels but not have it control like actual Dookie Dog Water. The level design in this is like so good for people that they ported this to a better game just so that it would control better and feel like a better engine, bro. Isn't that fucking crazy? I love the Sonic community, dude. we are so down bad for good content that we'll sit there and we'll use a game like a fucking engine and just make things happen. That's why Roboblast 2 is so impressive. I have my feelings about Roboblast 2. I think that as an engine, it's so cool, but also I don't think the game, like, base game itself is very fun, which, I mean, guys, it makes sense, right? It's an insanely old fan game. It's very hard for that to age well when the standards for what makes a good Sonic fan game are constantly changing, right? Like, you have games like this, which completely redefine what is capable with a Sonic fan game, and then you have a game from fucking, what, early 2000s or whatever? It's just not even the same ballpark, right? It's just a hard comparison to make and win when you are Roboblast 2. But the fact that people are still continuing to sit there and make that game what it is, which is fucking incredible, man. It's insane. It's insane. And, you know, kudos where kudos are due. Even if I dislike the game, the base game in some capacity, it's an incredible piece of work that just really shows how dedicated the Sonic community is to making games that don't suck doo-doo dog shit. You know, could not be Sega. I'm kidding. Boys, we're on the up. I'm not one of those Frontiers haters. I fucking love that game. So, let me cook. Let me cook. I will say, the adventure formula is slowly growing on me. I think that, you know, with each adventure game comes its own set of kind of fallbacks and things that could have been done significantly better. But the general formula itself is so promising, and I think that's why a lot of people, when they're making fan games or they're making Sonic-like games, they take the adventure formula and they really try to recreate the magic that the formula could have provided people if it didn't have some things missing here and there. And I don't mean, again, I don't mean, bye-bye. I don't mean to sound like a hater, because I do like the adventure games. I've played all of the Hero Story and Adventure 2. I've played all of Sonic Story and Adventure 1, which is the only thing people really talk about. So it's like, I played Adventure 1. Like, I really like the adventure games. I like what they provide. I like what they provide for players. I think it's an incredibly fun gameplay style. And some of my favorite Sonic-like games, fucking Rollin' Rascal, absolutely incredible Sonic-like game that takes the adventure style and utilizes it in a way that just no other Sonic-like game has, really. Sorry, Spark 3. I know I've been dogging on you 24/7, brother, but, like, you got... Look, Big Bro came into town. You are no longer the head honcho. All right. The game definitely just did that. But, like, dude, that was a fun stage. I can't even lie. But, I fuck with this style. I don't know. Maybe there's, like, other reasons for that, though. I feel like adventure-style games are just, like, a little cheaper to make. Like, you notice, adventure games are significantly longer than boost formula games in every capacity. That's just, it's something that's always been the case. And at the end of the day, I think that's just because it's harder to produce, as like, the amount of assets that you would need to make a successful boost formula game. And I think that's also why you really don't see many boost formula Sonic fan games, and why you never see boost formula Sonic fan games completed. Sorry, I was trying to say Sonic Omens exists, but that game has kind of been absolutely torn apart for the by the community in a lot of different ways. I do think this, I'm gonna say this, and I want to throw this out there right now before I even say anything. This is not me defending the developers of that game, nor is it me trying to tell people to go play that game. Even though it's free, you know, downloading the game still gives the developer some capacity of some form of a platform. Like, I would understand completely not wanting to do that. I just got killed. I'm so sorry. I would understand not wanting to do that. Totally fine. It's one of the many reasons that I have never played it on this platform, and I probably never will, unless people want me to tear into it, in which case the game is definitely poorly designed. I would tear into it. But it is, without a doubt, one of the most impressive feats within the Sonic fan gaming community. Because whether or not the game sucks or not, like, let's ignore that for a second. The game, yeah, I don't like it. I don't think it's good. But at the end of the day, it's still a completed boost formula Sonic fan game. And that's really impressive. That's really impressive. It had a very, very interesting, you know, development that caused it to, you know, fall apart within the community. But what it is, you know, and I feel like this is becoming kind of more widely adopted and accepted by the community as a take. You know, fuck the developers, whatever, this, that, and the other. They're not good people. They're weird as shit. And they produced a game that is quintessentially unfun to play because of the level design. But at the end of the day, they made that game. And the game is complete. And it's relatively long. And that's just impressive. That's an impressive feat in and of itself. Again, Not supporting the game, not saying you should go play it. Probably don't. It does not seem to be worth anybody's time, realistically. And you know what? I'm not saying that as a fucking hater who, like, switched up their tune when they heard about the drama. I was a hater from day one. I feel like that's an okay thing to say now. I feel like, you know, that little hipster level that I'm holding deep in my heart, that hipster feeling, I can finally throw it out there. I fucking hated that game since I saw it. I thought the level design always looked like ass, and I didn't need the creators to be canceled for me to say that. So get fucked, creators. How about that, huh? How about that one? Eat shit. If Omens never has any other haters, I'm dead, bro. That's all I can say. I'm fucking dead. But yeah, no. Back to the actual fun game at hand. I am really enjoying this level design, and the fact that I can talk about fucking anything else without, like, breaking a sweat, man. Like, that is good sign. Good sign, bro. Like, I don't know, I think maybe one of the reasons that I think this game works as well as it does is because a part of it was designed by Sega. And I know Sega hired this man, whatever, this, that, or the other. Sega has assets, and they have money, and they hire people that, believe it or not, know what they're doing, man. They genuinely know what they're doing. And whether or not they fuck up some levels here and there, they can generally design pretty good levels, especially during this adventure era. So, taking these professionally designed levels and then just making the control not feel like ass, it's an A1 experience. I'm gonna call it there, but I'm definitely finishing this, bro. I can't not. I'm too invested now.